Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Real with Jordan and Demi. In Los Angeles, I'm Jordan Edwards. In New York, we got Demi Ramos. What's up, Demi?
Woo!
And today we've got Simi. Simi, thank you for being on the show. We really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Your new album, To Be Honest, is out now. So I'm listening to this album last night as I'm preparing for the interview, and I'm thinking, like, this is such a great late night album. Like, the vibes on this are so good at like 1 a.m. Like, it's so smooth and so like so many layers and little like keyboards here, and like it's so nice. And I know that
album.
Yeah. I know that you put together a really strong team for this one. You got some really high end, hit making producers. Can you tell me about how this one came together, how you put together the producers and the musicians to make this one happen?
I got the idea for the album like about 3 years ago, and I just wanted to do a project that, where I was kind of telling some of my stories, maybe my journey through music and, some of the experiences I've had as well. And I thought it'd be nice to make like a little compilation of songs with those ideas and experiences in there. I wasn't exactly sure how to go about it, but that's why I took my time, and I had a few producers work on it. And these are producers I haven't really worked with before. My husband is a musician as well, and so he's working with Blaze, who produced most of the songs on the album. And I told him to ask him to send me some music, and so he sent me some stuff, and we really could have vibe. And well, here we are today.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Sounds great.
And your vocals on this new album, just like all of your other releases, are so just soothing and sensual and fresh. And I mean, you do have a gospel background. So tell us about those days.
Yeah, and my very first album ever was a gospel song. I was doing gospel up till I think 2012 or 2013. I learned how to mix and master myself off of YouTube because I knew exactly what I wanted to hear in my songs. And I felt like I was a little bit too anal for people. And so, I went and learned how to do it myself. So I really enjoy being a part of the process of creating. I know, like I said, I know what I want to hear in my songs. I know how I want it to go. I know when something is too much for me or too little. And so just inserting myself into the process, it definitely helps me get there faster.
Since you do have this production background, you do mix and master. In fact,
wow.
I was watching another interview. You like actually met your husband, Adekunle Gold, because you mastered one of his albums. Is that correct?
Oh, no. We were already together at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I learned how to mix and master while we were already dating.
Okay.
Although no one knew we were dating at the time because we kept it on the low.
Okay. Gotcha. And since you have this musical, your husband's a musician, do you guys bounce ideas off of each other? Are you playing each other's songs, singing each other's songs, running stuff by each other all the time?
Almost definitely. That's one of my favorite things about my relationship, that I can get so much out of it, besides, being life partners. We feed off of each other, inspire each other. He's giving me some really incredible ideas. He's actually co-writes on one of the songs on the album as well. And, it's just so amazing to have, someone I can work with in life and work with, in my profession as well.
Is it ever hard dating another musician, being a musician? Because it's like two personalities, you have the egos, you have, what are the hardships in doing that?
I wouldn't say that it's hard, because I think in the beginning, yes, it was, but I mean, we've had so much practice. We dated for a while before we actually got married, and we were able to do that outside of the limelight because our relationship wasn't public, so we were able to actually date each other outside of the limelight. So I think that helped us to rehearse rehearse for the big thing, and I think we have we just I guess you understand priorities and you know what works and what doesn't work and you work together and you communicate. So it works out.
Demi's a musician and she's sometimes dates other musicians, but she's
No,
kind of like
you were gonna come up with something, Jordan.
and that's
I knew you were gonna call me out.
See, our podcast is about life in the music industry, and so Demi often will ask our guests about issues that she's having at the current moment. So.
We all advice,
Happy to help.
And prime advice, we got like top of the line advice from you guys, the guys that come on the show. Let's talk about Nigeria. You're there right now. What's it like?
Well, I mean, this is home.
This is
home. I go back and forth from the States. I would go back and forth between here and the States. But this is home. I have my family, most of my family here, and my friends. And there's obviously we're hoping for more and more positive things to happen for us, and so we're all working towards it. We have an election coming soon even. But I'm always, rooting for my country and rooting for my people.
Nigeria obviously is a big cultural center within Africa, both, economically and artistically, a huge film industry, music industry. When you're making music, how much do you care about reaching audiences outside of Nigeria, getting into the US? You say you spend a lot of time in the US and the UK. When you're making music, how much do you think about, okay, this will play well in the States or this will play well in Europe? Does that enter your mind?
Yeah, most definitely. Starting if you listen to my earlier music, the sound is, quite different. It's more African, sounds and percussions and everything. Now, I try to incorporate more foreign, if you like, sounds. Yeah.
And to an American, this new album has more of an actual like Afrobeat, Afropop kind of sound. And
exactly.
You work with producers who had in that world. Do you find yourself trying, even though you had that more traditional sound early in your career, do you try to mix it at all? Do you feel kind of a struggle? Like, I don't want to go too far away from my roots.
Actually, yeah. It's not even that I don't want to go too far from my roots. It's that if I do go far, I hope like I'm doing it right, because I don't want to. I'm not trying to do it just so I can get more listeners, but I'm trying to. It still has to, be organic. It still has to sound right. I still have to flow just right on the beat and bounce just right, So as I'm evolving, it sounds still natural, So I guess the struggle would be, am I doing it right, as opposed to am I doing too much?
And the new album, to be honest. Let's talk about the making of the album, all the nitty gritty, all the late nights in the studio. Maybe what was the problem song? What's your favorite song on the album? All those little in between things.
I've had a couple of problem songs on this album. Yeah. I think because a few of the songs I had to change the beats because maybe like halfway through creating, I just felt like it wasn't, it wasn't exactly the way I wanted it to be. It didn't feel as right as I wanted it to feel. And so I would ask the producer to change something else. The process of making the songs, I've had to change features even, especially on songs I didn't want to do by myself. I think all the songs just have their different, struggles and stresses,
Issues.
But I feel like but the easiest song for me to write on the album was Naked Wire, which is actually the first single off of the album. It just came to me so easy, and I was very grateful to that. But all the songs, kind of did a number on me on a level.
The single, yeah.
When I was listening to the album, the big thing that kind of like stood out for me was when you don't have a lot of features on this album. See, in America, I feel like people have like a feature on every song. There's like 10 people on the album, but you're like just bits and pieces. How do you go about choosing who the features are? And do you have people like asking you to be on the album? How does that work?
Yeah.
Honestly, I've always been like that. I'm not like a big pack all the features on it person. I just feel like if I hear a song and I can hear someone on it, I will, I'm gonna try and get them. But like most of the time, I think again, because I'm so protective of my space and my music, I'm always like, I want it to be just right, and so I don't like to force energy. Um, for this album, I heard, like I said, I had to swap a few features, but even then, I kind of had to switch the beats and change my verse because I didn't want to like bring the energy from a previous, arrangements and everything. So, if I hear someone, if I hear someone, I feel like this person's vibe is gonna go great on this song, then I'm usually open to it, and I'm excited. I'm always happy. I'm happiest to work with people that are happy to work with me.
What I picked out was the song "Loyalty" featuring Fave on here is so
Loyal.
good.
Loyal.
It's loyal. I'm sorry. So,
Yeah, no,
my favorite, like I had it written down. My favorite song here is "Loyal," and featuring Fave, and it's kind of a sad song. I like songs that have a little bit of a sad feel to them.
Yeah.
Jordan's a sad boy.
Well, that's another question. In America, sad music is really popular right now. Songs that are sad. There's a lot of like quote unquote emo rap, and a lot of like rock songs are about how someone's broken their heart or whatever. Is that the case in Nigeria? I mean, do you still is that kind of music popular? Sad music?
I definitely wouldn't say that because I think we're more into like vibes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think over here we just like to chill more and just let the music do the thinking. They don't want to think too much about it. They just want to enjoy it, the flow, the vibe. Loyal is one of my favorite songs on the album because it's actually inspired. It's so interesting that you mentioned that because it was inspired by by friend, that let me down, and so that's where that inspiration came from.
Yeah, I could tell that had to have been about a real situation, a real person, because it was just it's so confessional and so specific. Yeah.
How important to you is your visuals for your art? Because I know some artists are like, they'll just throw up, a picture of a plant, and then other art, or
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was saying some artists are really particular about their visuals, or how important to you is it, the visual? Do you go crazy like trying to figure out a visual that just matches that song?
Yeah, I do. I mean, to a point. I don't go like gaga over the visuals. Really, I mean, if it works, then I'm happy. I'm more crazy. I go crazy when it comes to the audio, but the visuals, I'm pretty chill.
Even for you have such great styling in your music videos. The dancing, the lighting, the makeup is so on point. How much input do you have on that, or do you have stylists who kind of take care of that for you?
I have stylists, but I usually have like a vision, especially depending on the song. If it's a really intense song, I'm very like, it has to be so and so way. I have to look like this. My hair has to look like this. But I work with stylists and hairstylists and makeup artists, to bring the vision together.
Aside from being an artist, you and a producer and a mixer and a master, you also have your own label called Studio Brat. Let's talk about being the CEO of your own label and kind of how do you run that? How did that come about?
So I was signed to a record label up till 2019, and I've been there for 5 years, and I just wanted more. I want, and by more, like they did me really good. It was a really, really, good experience, and I had such great creative control, but it's like, there was a limit to how much risk I was able to take, Therefore, the fewer risks I can take, the less I'm able to grow, So I just wanted, to be able to take more chances on myself, be my own boss, call the shots, because then I felt like I'll be able to do more, therefore grow more.
how much you're using that platform to help grow other artists and reach out to other artists. Is that
I
important to
mean,
you? New artists, emerging artists.
yeah. For now, as it's just me on the label because I'm trying to figure this out. Because right after I left the old record label, I was signed to. I was signed to. No, I got pregnant. I got pregnant
Wow.
and excuse me, I got pregnant and so I had like 2 years where my daughter's about to be 2.
Wow.
My daughter's 2 now, yeah. And so it was like I just had to just find my footing and figure it out and just get myself together basically. So I'm still working on myself and trying because I support like other artists, but like I'm not no one signed to me right now because that's a huge commitment and I don't want to commit to anyone's career until I'm ready.
Sure, it's a
to
whole
do
nother
so.
world when you start signing other artists.
I know.
And
Yeah.
speaking of motherhood, how are you liking motherhood and like how do you balance it? I mean, sometimes we look at artists, they're on tour and it's like, whoa, like you've got so many responsibilities. It's already one thing to have a kid but you do you feel like you're living a double life sometimes, like Hannah Montana? It's like, go home and then I go on stage and
Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like that's the perfect description. Sometimes it does feel like a double life, especially because all those like facets of my life are so intense. Being a mom is incredibly intense, and being a musician, being an artist is intense as well. But I think what helps me is just prioritizing and then committing to my priorities because at the end of the day, um there's only so much time in a day, so like I figure out the things that are most important to me and how I can manage them. I have less time, I have less me time now, but I'm doing the things that I love, and I have an incredible daughter, and she's like the light of my life, and I understand it takes work, but I'm so happy to do it.
Is she creative?
She loves music. She knows all the songs on the album.
I'm dead.
And she's so smart. She's beautiful.
Well, maybe we'll get like a Blue Ivy style cameo on the next one.
Yeah.
What are your plans since the album's just out? What's your tour plans? Your plans for the rest of the summer? Are you hitting the States? I think you're hitting the States, right?
Yeah. We're planning a tour we're still in talks right now, but we're planning a tour in the States and something in the UK maybe later this year. Yeah. So we're still talking about it. I'm gonna announce when we have it all together.
I know that like obviously there's the Nigerian diaspora is really strong around the world. There's Nigerians all over the world who and all people who aren't Nigerian who come to your shows. Outside of Nigeria, where would you say your biggest fan base is? Where you like what country do you go to where people are like really wild?
Based off of the DSPs and all the info I have on the back end, that's the States, and then the UK is France, and yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, so earlier we were talking about with Jordan, pretty much like, you are sometimes writing music, you have to think about how is someone going to receive this from somewhere else, like in Europe, how is someone in the States going to receive this? But how committed to you are speaking the truth of the people you grew up with and, kind of representing Nigeria for the world?
I think, regardless of how much you want to cross over, it's important to, keep the originality because, I can't give America what America can give America, if you know what I mean, or what an American artist can give America, and an American artist can give America what I can give America. So my focus is to bring my signature, my culture, my sound, which obviously is inspired by the sounds here, back home, and curate it and just package it in a way where people are trying to experience the sound that they're not as used to or they're not very familiar with, and being able to do that I think is more unique than trying to do something just people are already used to that they have loads of already.
What do
think
you?
someone like
Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to think of other artists that have moved to the States and to pursue music and maybe haven't really thought about kind of representing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As
I
much.
mean, I guess everyone's goal is different. Everyone's, inspiration is different. I can only speak to my own.
I'm like thinking like Celine Dion. I'm like, wait, did she like, talk about?
Oh,
Talk about Canada.
Yeah. I'm like, did they talk about?
Yeah.
I think some
That,
people-
it's funny, Demi, that I hadn't really thought about that. That like Simi, do you feel like you're actually like technically like a quote unquote representative of Nigeria when you're on tour internationally? Because some people, that's what they think of when that's their experience with Nigerian culture, is seeing you in concert.
Yeah, 100.
yeah, I'm definitely like I'm so proud to be Nigerian. I'm so proud because Nigerians are proud people. We're so excited to um make noise about our culture and our sounds. We're so proud of our culture. We're proud of the things that we have. So yeah, it's always a privilege for me, and just it's an honor for me to be part of people that are in front of that culture.
What is the music business like in Lagos? I think about I'm in LA and Demi's in New York, and Nashville,
I
Tennessee is a
love
big
I
music
love
city.
both cities, by the way. Those are like two of my favorite cities in the
Which one's your
Okay,
favorite though, New York or
let's go
LA?
off the side of it a little bit. When you come to the States, where do you stay? Do you stay in New York? Do you stay in LA?
No, I'm in Houston actually, but I
Houston.
actually love both places for different things. So yeah, I love New York because it reminds me of Lagos in a way. The energy reminds me of Lagos in a way, and I love LA
The big
because it's
buildings
such
and everything.
yeah, and the noise.
The noise. Yeah.
As the fire
Yeah.
alarm's going on.
Yeah.
But I love LA because the energy is so. I just feel like I can think better when I'm in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you an outdoors person? Do you like going hiking out in the country? Do you like, the serenity, or do you have to have the urban, the city vibes?
I like the city.
I like when I asked that, you're kind of like, no, I'm not much of a camper. Like, I'm not going to go out
Nope.
and build a fire.
I mean, I went to a camp once when I was a teenager. I think in New York actually, but I don't remember enjoying that very much. So
Yeah, my sister, she's like, I'm going camping this weekend. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Demi's from the
I'm
Bronx.
like, no,
So,
we're
yeah.
not doing that. Have you ever been to the Bronx before?
Oh no. We were grooving too. We were having fun. Okay.
We back.
We there? Okay. Got stuck again.
We can like cut these parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll cut. Yeah, it won't be one continuous thing. We'll see if she comes back. We have a few more minutes. Okay. Remove.
Date time.
Yeah, get that puffer out.
It has been a time.
Yeah.
It has been a crazy 24 hours. Oh, look at this nice side part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baby.
I do like some of the photos that we took where you like swept your hair over like this.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I feel like you're having fun with your hair and your bangs. Like you're just like really.
I know. My agency was like, you can grow them out now. I'm like,
Pulling up a knife. She's still stuck.
I think they told me to grow them out. And they're like, okay, grow them out. This is it grown out. That's what we're doing.
Okay, we'll keep recording. Let me record and if she comes back on, I'll switch it, but I'll just pretend that she's we're having technical difficulties with Simi, but we appreciate her being on. The new album, To Be Honest, is out now. While we have a moment here, Demi, I want to bring attention to popdust.com.
Yes.
You have been probably noticing that myself and Megan Marshall, other photographer in New York, have been doing a lot of original photography of artists in New York and LA. I want to invite everyone to go on popdust.com and check out. We do interviews. We're one of the few blogs, websites, magazines, whatever, who do our own photography. The way it usually works is that an artist, when they do an interview for a magazine or whatever, they submit their photos. So they'll have someone take a press photo or whatever, and then they'll submit that photo. But we at Popdust shoot our own photos. We go on locations, we have studios, and I think it's a really fun way to kind of capture what the artist looks like, what their vibe is, what their style is like at that moment. Demi and yeah. Demi, what do you got going on? You have new music out, right?
Jordan. Yes, there's new music. There's new music. You're going to see it. You're going to hear it. And Jordan's going to play it every day.
Yeah, I'm going to play it every day. I'm going to walk around LA with it like a boombox blasting.
They don't do that.
Demi Ramos. And people, I'm going to be like, hey, you hear this? This is Demi Ramos.
Oh, Jordan.
Demi Ramos. I guess that'll be about it for us. Demi, when are you coming to LA? Coming back to LA? July. Demi's coming back to July. Demi's coming back in July, and she's going to play some punk rock shows.
United, and it'll feel so good. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And coming up in just a week or two, we have new episodes of the Demi Ramos Show, which is our spinoff show where Demi interviews people in person, not over Zoom, not over remote video chat. We got Dylan Fraser from the Pride of Scotland, and of course Demi's good friend from back home, Victoria Conifal, will be on the show. I will say, we have, who's the third one?
Jackson Rose Band,
from the Jackson Rose Band, who and I will say, just a preview, that 2 out of the 3 shows the guest lifts up their shirt. I won't say why they lift up their shirt, and out of those 3 you can guess, take your guess on who lifts up their shirt between those between Dylan Fraser, Jackson Rose, and Victoria Conifal. We'll see 2 of the 3 lift up their shirt, so we'll see which one of those was that. Yeah. All right, guys, that'll be it for us. Until next time, you can, of course, listen to past episodes on Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Watch us on YouTube and Facebook, and follow us on Twitch and Instagram. Demi is at Demi_Ramos. I'm at Jordan Edwards Studio. And and of course, check out all the latest music news and interviews on popdust.com. So until next time, we'll see you later.